Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of Blitzbox for Disney Infinity 3.0. Of course, last week we began work on our garden, and this week we will hopefully carry on with that work and maybe even complete the whole thing. Who knows? That is the hopes, that is the dreams. We will see if that will be the case. So, I asked you guys at the end of last week's episode to help me decide which topiaries we are going to put into the last square left over, and you guys certainly did help me out with that, so thank you so very much. So the ones that were the most popular ones, again, keep in mind that there is a lot of options, so there was a lot of different votes, but I chose the ones that were the most common ones and the ones that were definitely voted upon more than on just one or two occasions. So just keep that in mind. So, oh man, I did not even realize that this might be a little bit of an issue with the Brontosaurus. I did want to fit it in. Let's see, could this work? If we put this guy here, because I think it'd be better if it was this way facing, I guess, right? And then another popular choice was the bear. And then last, but certainly not least, was the rhino. So, let's see. We're probably going to make this one face this way, right? Just to kind of keep things balanced. Is that matching? Yes, it is. All right. So that side of things is now over and done with. And I think that that looks pretty awesome. Look at this ginormous topiary garden that we've now assembled. It looks pretty wonderful and quite cool. Now, another thing that I wanted to run by you guys, because there's a couple of people that inquired about this, was to change the color of the cube that we're using for the garden, so it's a little bit more fitting for the garden. So like maybe change it to something like this, let's say, or maybe something even brighter, something along these lines. I don't know, maybe that. That's a little bit too dark. Forest Moon of Endor, is that it? That's not all that great looking, to be honest. I think that looks pretty sweet. Let's see. Wow. Okay, I think we're going to stick with this, right, guys? So let me know if you guys prefer this or the sand environment. Yeah, vote in the comment section below. I'm definitely going to go ahead and listen to you guys in that regard. So, with that being said, let's get to working on the other two areas because we really do want to finish this out, hopefully today. And then we get to work on other areas next time. So, nonetheless, of course, we're still going to stick within the plants category because that's what we're working on for the most part here. So, let's see. What kind of stuff do we have that would be intriguing to put in here? I did want to make some sort of a tree area with like unique trees and such. Like even something like this would be really, really cool to see, right? Because it's just such a unique tree. It's not like a common tree that you would be able to just see elsewhere. So I think in that sense it will be really, really cool to add it to our garden. So it'll be kind of like a tree display. So I think that's what we'll go with, is just kind of different trees. Like these are really, really rare trees that you could only see here. So I'd like to fit probably about 5 trees in here if that's possible. We have 3 right now, so we need to find 2 others that are very unique looking. This one is pretty unique looking, actually. I do have to admit, that does look pretty cool. The problem is, if we put this one, then we're going to have to use something very, very, very tiny in terms of a tree down below that. So let's see. Is there anything else that is somewhat intriguing looking? Well, that's interesting. That's a very unique looking tree. It kind of looks more like a mushroom almost. Ooh, that would be kind of awesome, like right here, no? Wait, I'm kind of coming up with ideas for the other area over here already. I wish we could get it like that up close. That would be so awesome. It would look so great. But the problem is we can't get it too close to the border, like of the rails here. So that's a bit unfortunate. So let me just continue kind of cycling through here just to see what other trees are available. That's a little bit more of a regular type tree, so I don't necessarily think we should put it there. Now this, on the other hand, is quite unique, to be honest. So let's see. I'm just trying to pick something that would be fitting with the other designs, so to speak, right? So hopefully that will turn out pretty good at the end of this design, but you never know. We could use that, but that just looks a little bit kind of like an evil tree of some sort. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably go ahead and choose that tree that we saw before. This one right here, right? Actually, what about this one? Ooh, that's a pretty unique looking tree, right? So if we fit this one like right there, and then take this big tree and put it right here. Let's see, which way should we have it face? I think that's actually pretty good. It looks really nice that way. All right, so there is our kind of like a exotic tree display, so to speak. So these obviously all look very unique and very, very different to anything else that we've built so far. So I think in that aspect, this is turning out pretty awesome, all things considered. Now, what we do need to do is continue to add little details such as the benches here. So we're going to put a couple more benches upon the entrances here, and why not put one more there? Now, additionally to that, I don't think it won't be too bad of an idea to actually put down a couple of light posts, because I think those would stand pretty nicely here as well. Let's see, we'll put one more here, and I think that's pretty good. Maybe we could fit another one over here, or is that going to look a little bit awkward already? I think that might look a little bit kind of overkill, so to speak. So I think we'll stick with what we currently have. All right, so back to our building options we go. Ooh, that would be a really cool idea at some point for us to build a ginormous tree village, like an Ewok village type thing. Oh, that would be so cool. We should totally do that. We should totally do that without a shadow of a doubt. Ooh, these are cool too. I really like those. Those are really neat. There's so much cool stuff over here in the Ewok village of building items. That's really neat. I didn't even notice any of this stuff, so that's really, really, really cool. We do have these tree stumps that we could use as well. Those are pretty neat, to be honest. Can you combine these? And if you could, how would you go about doing that? Yeah, I don't think it's going to look a little bit awkward, isn't it? I mean, you could probably put them together little by little, piece by piece, and then utilizing like all of these different platforms to assemble them. So I'm sure you can get them together. I'm just not sure if we will. Ooh, maybe we should put in a hedge over here. This could be kind of neat as well, right? Just for something that is completely different. But the problem is this is too small of a distance to do so. So I don't mind doing it, but not here, because the problem is it's just simply not enough room for that. So we'll have to come back to that at some point, hopefully. All right, so let's cycle through. I'm just going to kind of have a quick look here. If there's anything else that we could utilize, maybe there's something that's a bit more fitting, you know, or would look nicer along this way. So I don't know. We could go with this, kind of have a little bit of a route going through, and then maybe tiny little plants along the way. That could work, right? I mean, that could look decent, but I'm not too sure if I want to go with that yet. So let's just quickly kind of cycle through this, see what else we have. That doesn't look all that interesting. This looks a little bit too futuristic. That's a little bit too farmland-like. Let's see, what is... Oh, okay, that's the candy stuff. We're going to do that for sure, because a lot of people were asking for that. So we will definitely build that out at some point. Ooh, that looks really sweet. Oh, man, that looks really, really awesome. All right, so let's see. That's sports stuff. And by the way, you guys did like the idea of the stadium, so we are for sure building out the stadium. That's going to be super duper sweet to have at some point within our toy box. So I think we're going to have to go back to the plants, because I don't really see anything else in the other categories that is particularly fitting in that sense. I just think everything else just kind of looks a little bit somewhat awkward, and I just don't think it will turn out all that great, to be honest. All things considered. I mean, some of this stuff is really cool, like this and such, but I don't know how it applies to the overall picture, and that's really the issue. All right, so let's go back to the plants, and then within the plants category, I think we've done most of the big trees already, so I don't necessarily know what we can do in the sense of like, hey, let's do something unique with the other scale of trees. So I'm not too sure about that for sure. Ooh, that looks really cool, actually. What if we use this as a separator? How many of these can we fit in here? If we put in 2, like so, then, where was the... Wait. Gotta go back down again. Building sets, I think it was number 3, or maybe it was 2. Where was it? Could have sworn. Oh, maybe it was number 3 or number 4. Here we go. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab this. Bring this to the middle. And then essentially, that's an outer corner, inner corner, path end. We need like just a separator, center. There we go. So that's what we need. Something along these lines. Then grab one of these. All right. I think this might actually turn out to look pretty cool. I hope so, at least. And that looks good. And then this will stay hidden, so we won't be able to see it. So that looks great. And then we're just going to bring the same exact path all the way around here. Except for this little bit. So we're going to have to kind of... Where's the end piece? So I think we'll just use maybe this. Or I could try to guide it over to here. I mean, that could look decent. I don't know if it will. But you know what? You'll never know if you don't try. So let's just try it out and see how it looks. Once it's in place. That does not look all that great, to be honest. Especially because you can see it like peeking through the platform. So that's the problem. What if I use the path end piece? Yeah, you can still kind of see it, which is not great. Maybe if I use it sideways. Okay, there we go. Now you can't see it, so that works. There we go. All right. So now we've got a working pathway. We have these really, really nice, beautiful separators right here. And then on the inside of this whole thing, I think what we shall do is go ahead and actually utilize the smaller plants. So like unique smaller plants that we have not placed anywhere else, at least so far. We could put in some flowers maybe along the way. I don't know. Will it look too much? Too busy and too much stuff happening at once? That's certainly a possibility. That's why I'm being very, very careful about what we put in. Because again, sometimes it's like, oh, is that beautiful and cool looking? Yes, but then when you add so much of it, it becomes overkill. And then it's not good looking anymore because you've kind of like overstuffed the design and there's just too much stuff happening. So that's really the key here, is to not mess up in that aspect, you know, and just not put in so much stuff that you literally then cannot put in anything else at all. So that's really the key here. So let's see. Can we put this here? Oh, okay, that fits well. Now, whoops. Why did I mess this up? There we go. So, is that down on the ground? I hope so, at least. Because that would be awkward if it isn't. Then we put in a couple of the shorter pieces. And then, hopefully... Yes! Alright, perfect. That connected, like, the best it possibly could. So I think this will be pretty good, all things considered. And let's see if we put in one of these. And then hopefully... Yes! Alright, that was, like, picture perfect. Alright, so now we got to get the smaller, unique-looking plants and just kind of layer them out on the outer edge here. Actually, before we do even that, what I'd like to do is maybe go ahead and add a couple of flowers over to here and maybe this side as well. Nope, that's not going to fit. Alright, well, then we got to remove that because it's just going to be kind of inconsistent and won't look particularly great. Whoops. Come on, there we go. So let's remove that and exit Spark mode. All right, so back to the plant choices that we have. And let's see, I do like these. These are very, very cool and unique looking. So we could totally put down maybe one or two of these. Actually, you know what? I think it'd be kind of cool to put these sporadically and then between them put another different plant. And then that way it's kind of a unique feel in that sense. Alright, so then we need small, tiny plants that... Oh, man, I don't know if this is going to fit in here. Okay, we need something very, very small for this one. Yeah. I don't think there's anything that's going to fit in here, no matter what. I don't think anything is going to fit between these two. So that means that we probably... I didn't even keep an equal distance on all of them. Alright, let's go ahead and remove this one. And then just see how it goes once we start putting other stuff in here. And we'll just kind of go by feel, so to speak. However it looks, we'll kind of go like, okay, that looks good, that looks bad, so on and so forth. So we'll go one by one, really. That's the plan. All right, so let's start with this. That seems like a pretty fitting choice. Then this. Then maybe a tire shrub. We could actually put probably 2 plants over here. I don't know how I feel about these tire plants because they don't look all that great, to be honest. They kind of look very out of place in comparison to everything else that we've done and placed around here. They definitely don't look like they fit in. So I think we're going to keep them out for now. But we could always add them back in later, of course. So that's not an issue in any way, shape, or form. So then we'll put in 1 larger plant. So essentially, whenever it's a larger plant, only 1 goes in. Whenever it's a smaller plant, we can put in 2. Because I think they would fit in for the most part. Some of them, obviously, as you can see, are even too big even for a small plant. That's a unique tree right there, right? And that'll go right there. All right, so I think that we have just finished the garden, which is pretty awesome. We have a whole bunch of really, really unique different types of plants all around. We're going to put in a couple of benches on this side as well because... you know, maybe you want to sit over on this side as well. So let's include those in there. Because why not? Probably have a couple of benches over there. And maybe even 1 upon the entrance on this side. Yep, that works. And it works. And then maybe even 1, if it fits, over here. Maybe, possibly. Nope. All right, so this one's just simply not going to fit in. But, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. We have done it. We have done it. We have done it. We have done it. Let's go ahead and go into spark mode just so we could kind of have a better look of things. Whoa, okay, went the wrong direction. There we go. All right, I think that this turned out really, really nice. Overall, all things considered, I think that this turned out very, 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 very cool. And it looks really awesome. I really like the overall feel that it has. And it definitely has this really nice, elegant, clean, but at the same time, a lot of kind of wild nature feel to it, which is awesome. A very big contrast to anything that we see over on this end, which is really, really cool to see, and I do like that quite a bit. As far as what we're going to be working on next time, I think that it would be kind of cool for us to maybe potentially work on that stadium idea, but we'll see if it will actually fit in here, because I do want to keep it contained to 1 square. That's the goal. So if we can do that, we'll definitely build out a stadium. If not, then we'll probably get to work on something else, but hopefully it will still be a ton of fun. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We had, of course, the one and only lovely Darth Vader helping us out. That is really hilarious. Seeing Darth Vader with a wand like that, it's like, what's up, Darth Vader? You've been watching a lot of Harry Potter? He's like, no. That was a horrible impersonation. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Blitzbox. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. Let me know what you want to see built out on our Blitzbox on future episodes. I always take your ideas and considerations into mind. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have an absolutely fantastic day. I'll catch you lovely folks next time. Peace out. See you laters, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.